Hare Krishna. So very nicely Krishna described in Śloka number 7 that how each and every living entity is part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And now Krishna is going to describe about the transmigration of this living entity from one body to another. So let's see this very technical topic now in Shloka number 8. Shariram yad avapnoti yachapya utkramati shvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayur gandhan ivashayat. So here it is said that grihitva etani samyati vayuhu gandhan iva ashayat. So here it is said that how does a living entity transmigrate? So there's an analogy that is given. So like the vayuhu, the air, carries what? Carries different aromas. Similarly, the living entity changes the body from one body to another. So that's the next line that is given. Shariram yad avapnoti yat cha api, and then utkramati ishvaraha. So he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. And here the living entity is specifically called as Ishvara, or the controller. So a very nice shloka, a nice analogy. So let me explain this analogy before we move ahead. So air goes from one place to another, vayuhu. It goes from one place to another. So say it is going from a rose garden to another place. So when the air flows like that, so at that time it carries the aroma of the roses. So there is a rose scent that is there now in the air. Similarly, say it is going above the sewage. So it will carry that odor, that foul odor along with it. Now originally if we see, the air does not have a rose scent or the sewage foul odor. So air is not affected by that. It is just carrying that particular thing. Similarly, the living entity is always pure, like the air is always pure. But it carries various conceptions from one body to another, because it is bound by the subtle body and the gross body. One thing is very sure, that we are eternally spirit souls. So spirit cannot be captured by matter. So subtle body and the gross body, it cannot capture the spirit soul. So here it is said that the living entity is described as Ishvara, the controller of his own body. So he is Ishvara, he is controller of the body. If he decides, he can leave the body anytime. But then we living entities, we are so much attached to our bodies that we are not ready to leave even at the time of death, when we are forced to leave the body. And that is what is a struggle at the time of death, which is very, very painful. So this is what is the analogy that is given. The person goes from one body to another, or the spirit soul goes from one body to another, carrying the conception and the impressions that he has got in the previous body, and goes to another body. Like the air carries the odor or scent from one place to another, remaining pure. Air remains pure, soul remains pure. Here it is said that if he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade, and if he likes, he can move to a lower class. Minute independence is there. The change his body undergoes depends upon him. So this is a very important point to note, that he can decide what can be the next destination by his current activities. It's a very important thing that a living entity has got a minute independence. Many times people say that, no, everything is decided in this world, everything is decided. No, if everything is decided, then we are like robots. Then where is the question of karma that is coming into picture? So we are not robots. We have got minute independence. We can decide in some situation, when the choice is given, we can decide which one to choose. There is no force here from anywhere. So we are not like robots. We have been given choice. So with that minute independence, we make choices. So depending on the choice that we make, either this or this, The decision will be made, and then we'll be getting some destination. Maybe some higher destination, or maybe from lower destination. And what happens? How are these bodies given to us? Based on our consciousness. So here it is said, at the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him on to the next type of body. So say, throughout his life, his consciousness, he has developed it, or he has contaminated it, like that of a dog. At the time of death, if that is the consciousness of a dog, then next life is for sure decided that he will become a dog. But then throughout his life, he has practiced bhakti very nicely, or he has done some good work. No, let's not talk about bhakti first, let's talk about some good work. Some good work he has done, help people. He will get a good destination like that. Maybe in heavenly planet he'll get somebody. But he has done bhakti throughout his life. Every moment he has engaged in service of Krishna. What will happen? He will surely go to Krishna Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. He will attain Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, Śloka number 5 and 6. In Śloka number 5, Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. If you remember me at the time of death, you will come back to me. But yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatante kalevaram tam tam ivaiti kauntaya sadatat bhava bhavitah. But if you remember anything else apart from that, you will attain that state in the next life. If you remember a dog, you will become a dog. If your consciousness is developed like a dog, you will become like a dog. Simple. So in this way, it's up to us to decide the destination, where we want to go. So throughout our life, we are just purchasing ticket for the next destination, and that is called as the karma that we are doing. So it's very, very important that we as devotees, we have to be very serious, especially in the activities that we are doing. We should pick and choose the activities and do things accordingly. And we should be intelligent enough to dovetail our activities in service of Krishna. Each and every moment of our life should be Krishna conscious. So this is the task that all of us have in our hands. And then here it is said, the individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and the present activities are the background of his next body. Very simple. Whatever we are doing now, that will decide our next body. One gets a different body according to karma, and he has to quit this body in due course. It is stated here that the subtle body, which carries the conception of the next body, develops another body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in the body is called karshati, or struggle for existence. This is the struggle, this is the karshati that we're talking about. Transmigrating from one body to another, like the person has to leave the body, that is so painful, and goes to another body, and taking birth there in another body is also painful. And then between birth and death, when the person is there in one particular body, again there's so much of pain because of various things around. So in this way, the living entity always struggles in this world. Hardly any happiness he gets. So it's very important that everyone aspires to go back home, back to Godhead, to Krishna. Because we belong to Him. We are not here to jump from one body to another like a monkey jumps from one branch of tree to another branch of tree. No. So every single day when we are practicing bhakti, we should have this prayer in our heart that, oh Lord, please intensify my hankering to come back to you. Please help me. And then whenever we are chanting our 16 rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, doing various services, this mood should be there, that I am that living entity, who has come away from the Lord, wanted to enjoy in this world. Now it's the time that I prove to the Lord, no, I'm not here for enjoyment. I want to come back to you. And this particular service that I'm doing is for your pleasure, O Lord. Please accept it. This chanting that I'm doing is for your pleasure. This reading that I'm doing is for your pleasure. Everything in my life is meant for your pleasure, O Lord. So when we live our life like this, there'll be a huge transformation in our life. From selfish sense gratificatory mode, we will shift to selfless loving service of Krishna. So there's a very, very important transformation that will happen in our life, provided we are sincere and serious in our everyday practice. Having spoken about this particular thing, Krishna elaborates on this topic of transmigration even in the next verse. So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna